So Max is giving his icebreaker, which I'm very excited about. The title of the speech is Who Am I? I've been listening to him topics for a while. He's talked about things such as algorithms to get through problems, music, which I'm actually very excited about. So I'm very excited to hear more about Max and his icebreaker speech.
Thank you. Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, who am I? Have you ever asked yourself this question? Well, I asked myself this question for the first time when I was 5 years old. I was standing in the mirror, looking into my eyes, and wondering about it. I asked the question, and in response, nothing. I decided to memorize that moment because I realized that everything's changing, and I'm changing too. Last year, I had 5 candles on my cake, birthday cake. Next year, I'll have 6. Someday, I'll grow up like my parents, then grow old like my grandparents. And someday, I'm gonna die like my grandparents. These thoughts made me feel a bit sad, but at the same time, I felt excitement from curiosity about life. How is it going to be? Since I started to wonder about these kind of things, I had a very open-minded position toward the truth. My approach was like this. If there is no answer to the question, better to leave it open. Better to leave it open, rather to believe in something, or pick any possible answer and accept it as a truth. The next very significant moment of my life was around 10 years old, when I first heard the band Rammstein. The juicy, chewy, confident sound of electric guitar, supported by crispy rhythmic drums, made my blood boil. All the music that I heard before was only pop songs on the radio, and they all sounded funny to me. But this heavy rock was something serious. It felt like a breakthrough of the protest to the dull life that had been forced by the school and adults. This is how I found my passion in music. The music taste can tell a lot about personality because it reflects the vibration of the human being. And that vibration is expressing the worldview, which is based on overall experience of life. As I grew older, I took the underground position in life. Because from my experience, I saw that people who told me to do the right things are not successful, not rich, not happy. And when I looked at the successful people, they all were breaking the rules. That's why I thought that the right way is to go the wrong way. And only when I hit 22, I realized that something wrong. Underground didn't work out very well. I had a depression. Depression is not a stress, not a broken heart, not a feeling of loss or any other emotion caused by the outside environment. Depression is the absence of the answer about the meaning of life. What is this all for? How can I do anything without understanding why? Luckily to me, after a few months, I found in the internet my first mentor, a guy who claimed that he had figured out everything. It was a business coach, Russian billionaire from New York. I took from him a new position in life, self-development. or personal development. Even though his focus was mostly on business, he introduced me all of his spiritual mentors. And that's when my real spiritual journey began. I watched over 1,000 hours of videos, read dozens of books. I completely lost my social life. Because it was a challenge for me to get to the truth, to understand the universe. And in the end, it all came down to the same question. Who am I? Isn't it adorable? And yes, a year ago, I found the answer to the question, who am I? That was the finish line of my spiritual journey. Everything just clicked together. I received the complete worldview, and I had no more question about the universe. The answer is simple, mind-blowing, and ingenious. I am the universe experiencing itself. Actually, there is no I or you, because everything is one. When we interact with each other, it's similar to one hand touching another. Each hand can feel itself and the touch of the other hand, but it's the same body. The sensations are our consciousness, and the body is the existence. There is many other questions have been answered. Meaning of life, God, happiness, enlightenment, aliens, etc., which I might will talk about in my further speeches. My final message for today is that I just want to let you know that everything is already known and explained. If you put enough effort in the search for the answers, you will find them. Thank you.
That was a great speech. That might have been one of the best icebreakers I've ever heard.
This is how I roll.
Well, you've set the bar pretty high, so I'm going to expect a lot from the speech. That was really good.
So Louis is going to be evaluating Max's icebreaker speech.
Hello Toastmasters and welcome guest. Max, thank you so much for giving your first speech. I know how nerve-wracking it was. When I gave my first speech, I was sweating and it was winter. I was wearing a t-shirt. I still remember it. I was shaking. So, great thing that you came up here and did your speech. So there are several points for the icebreaker, and number one, what were the strong points of the speaker? I think your strong points were your presence, the speech subject. I think we could all relate to who am I, self-exploration, think about those type of things we can all relate to. That was a strong point. Number two, how well did the audience get to know the speaker? I believe we all got to know you because we heard about Rammstein, we heard about the questions, we heard about depression, all these different things, so we got to know different aspects of who you consider yourself to be. Number three, did the speech reflect adequate preparation? I think it did. You put some thought into your speech, you had the different subjects separated, the conclusion ready set. Did the speaker speak clearly and audibly? You did. We could all hear you, it was loud enough. I think you did well on that. Did the speech have a definite opening body and conclusion? I think this is where you were the weakest because I wasn't clear what the points were. So you mentioned 5 years old. 10 years old and some other age, and I wasn't sure how many of these you were going to say. So to contrast with what Mickey did, he mentioned exactly what he was going to go over when he was going to tell us about ducks. So he said the benefits are X, Y, and Z, and then he went through those benefits. So one of the things you could have done was say, I'm going to speak about these 3 stages of my life, or however many there were, because I wasn't quite sure how many there were, and I was listening very intently. And then at the very end, you could have told us. So I just went over when I was 5, when I was 10, when I was 22. That was the weakest portion, but again, it's just organization, and that's not the main point of the speech. That's speech number 2, but it always helps to look forward to that. Comment on the speaker's use of notes. I think it was fine. You were looking down, and that's expected, especially for your first speech. So no big deal there. What could the speaker have done differently that would have improved the speech? I think, again, having a clear opening, body, and a conclusion. What did I like about the presentation? I think that you gave us very personal feelings, things that most of us wouldn't even share, especially about depression and so on and so forth. And it's good to hear that you feel comfortable enough to share those type of things with us, and I really appreciate that. Overall, I think I saw very little nervousness. One thing I did see one time, your hand was shaking, and I thought that was the only nervousness I saw. I saw you were doing it, but I was looking specifically for that voice breaking, and I got him. So I did catch your hand shaking here at one point, but that was it. Overall, very relaxed, very cool to speak. Looking forward to your second speech.
So please remind everybody to fill out the ballot.
To vote, yes,